Disclaimer. What happens for me during the workday? It's pretty dynamic. I work for an executive, and anyone who's worked for an executive kind of knows how that can go. There's a lot of different dynamics that go on with regards to dealing with some of the clients that we deal with. And my director is one that likes to work and deal with face-to-face some of the people that we work with. And in the line of work that we deal with, we deal a lot with people who would be considered the least, quote unquote, the least in our society, in our community. And he's one of those who has a sincere and genuine heart to assist and help and see some of those individuals grow and develop. So it's quite rewarding, actually, from day to day, just from the little things of, dealing with appointments and trying to get, him in and out of town, to dealing with meetings and representing him and doing different things and different assignments throughout the office. But it's amazing to deal with people on a day-to-day basis and see how the smallest tasks that we do from day to day affect their lives.
My target market is really anyone who wants to set themselves apart with their marketing needs. Maybe that's a logo, maybe that's a brand, but maybe that's writing your inner book. I do some freelance work in town. I also work with a number of nonprofits, churches, ministries, getting their name out there and whatever that is. But I've also worked with a number of small publishing companies. The main publishing company I work with is called Snowfall Press, and it's cutting-edge software that's print-on-demand, book of one, and it's allowing kind of first-time authors to get that inner book out there. It's a conduit for a lot of ministries to get materials out there. It's an incredible, very inexpensive way to print, and it's revolutionizing the printing industry. So I've done a lot of work with that, and gosh, I don't even know where the work comes from, honestly. It's totally the Lord. I don't advertise and stuff, he just brings stuff to me. So it's been amazing to just kind of see kind of this step in faith I took a couple of years ago with this business, thanks to my wonderful in-laws, and just to see how he's kind of evolved it. And moving here about a year ago, I grew up here, but moved back about a year ago, just to kind of see how God's just kind of evolving that on an everyday basis.
I'm the only woman on the executive management team at our bank, and we have about 101 employees, and probably about 76 of those employees report to me. So I head up all the branches in our Yosemite division, and everything that goes on in Fresno. We courier to about 500 customers. And so basically, my husband started this saying at one time. He always says, "This is my wife, she who must be obeyed." And now my boss says that. Mike McGowan always says that, I'm she who must be obeyed, and I know he values me and my contributions to the team because we work very well together. It's a really good marriage for banking, and we just have a really good relationship. He's probably the best CEO I've ever worked for, and I've worked for about 4 of them in my banking career. I also work on the I actually head up the marketing, the sales, and business development for the bank. So those are my primary responsibilities. And I also implemented a customer engagement program for the bank. And really, that whole program is just followed by my Christian principles. When you look at values and commitments, what's set for the bank, I just kind of took the whole thing. And we basically train all our people to be coaches from top down. The whole executive team is involved in that as well. So it's a really dynamic program, and has really rewarded us with some great customer service scores.
I work in the health insurance industry, so I have the opportunity to work with hundreds of businesses across the Central Valley, down from Kern County all the way up to the Modesto area and over to the coast. So really every day in my business is different because I'm dealing with different industries, different employer groups, whether it's the HR director, the CFO, the owner of a company. They all have different needs and desires when they're providing employee benefit programs. So every day looks a little bit different for me, depending on the different employers. I'm blessed in my office to work with a strong team of salespeople who are all Christians. I don't think anybody comes into the world and says, I want to be in insurance. Somehow everybody who is in insurance has got there just more or less by happenstance or by the will of God. I think in my case, really I work with 3 gentlemen on a sales team in a sales organization. It's a very unique setting. We work on every account together, bringing our intellectual capital together. I know that where I'm strong, somebody else is weak. Where I'm weak, somebody else on my team is strong. And so collectively, we've decided to share every account, which means we share not only from a revenue standpoint, but our intellectual capital, so we truly can put ourselves in the best position to service our accounts the best way we can. So just a real blessing, and I think we're able to do that because we all share similar faith. So there's never motives, our intentions are never questioned. We know where everybody's hearts are, and we know in the cycle of life we all have ups and downs and days of trials in our life, and to have that support from a team internally is just wonderful, and I think that helps lead to us to be able to service our clients better.
I think I was talking to a coworker of mine the other day, and one that we've both experienced is just kind of the pressure to be those super achieving women, especially being that we are 2 women who are minority women in the agency, and just to, overachieve and excel above and beyond, and work twice as hard just to get a little bit further. And that's one of the things that we've been experiencing.
For me, I work at home, so I don't necessarily go into a workplace and experience some of the workplace pressures, but at home, my home is my office and my office is my home, and it's very distracting when there's a load of laundry not done or when there are dishes in my sink. That's my pet peeve. But the other thing is, in this economy, income fluctuates for me. 1 month is going to look completely different from another month, and if they all look like April and May, well, great. But, and I work with a lot of nonprofits, and so recently, just financial pressures. I've been waiting 3 months to get paid for a job, and that's knowing that can happen. My dad and my grandfather started Link Care, and so I grew up with nonprofit. I understand the ebb and the flow, and I also understand very greatly that God provides and that we have to trust Him. I've learned in the past couple of years that I didn't trust Him more than the dollar I trusted in my hand.
I think in banking, we could really get tied up in the regulations and the changes. Banking used to be a lot of fun. You have to make it a lot more fun now because we are so highly regulated. There's things we can't just do like you used to do a loan on shaking a hand with a customer. You can't do those anymore. You've got to really go through the financial information and make sure everything is in place. So I don't focus on that as much. What I really focus on is I give my day to God every morning, ask Him to make people available to me. That's how we get business relationships. And we're true to the customers that we have, and we build other relationships hoping to get more. Our customers refer more people as we go along. So basically, I guess the challenges for me probably would be the competition. We try not to do what the larger banks do necessarily. We try to focus on being the community bank or the business and professional bank. We try to focus on the small to medium-sized businesses. We try to focus a lot on nonprofits. Nonprofits are great relationships. A lot of them have great balances. They're great board members on those nonprofits, and so relationships come out of that. So I never really have to worry about how that all happens.
Has anybody heard about healthcare reform? That is something we're faced with. So that's absolutely one of the challenges that faces our industry. But I think on a more day-to-day basis, I'm in sales. I work for a national insurance brokerage company. We're held to sales numbers. So anybody else in sales understands the need that on a weekly, monthly, annual basis, you're tracking your sales numbers. And to balance that and not let the pressure of, I need to close X amount of deals this month, this year, but understanding that it took me several years, and I'm trying to get better with just trusting God, letting go of, you know what, I know the things that I need to do to be successful. God's equipped me to be successful. If I do what I need to do, if I need to make so many cold calls a day to equal so many new appointments, to meet with so many new prospects, I can control those things. There's things that are completely out of my hands. People are going to say no to me. I'd love them to say yes. Some people are going to say yes that totally surprise me. So being able to control the things I can control, have a game plan every day, has helped me not look at that end of the year number and get nerved out about it, but has allowed me to control what I can and do it in a way that provides comfort and ease in the day where I'm not stressed out. I get to enjoy meeting with new folks as well as maintaining those ongoing relationships. And I know my dad and brother are in the commercial real estate business, and I've been able to watch over the years. My dad's had a heart to and a commitment to his clients, and those relationships he's taken care of, he's nurtured their friends, their clients. At so many levels, they look to him not just as a real estate broker, and those relationships have opened the doors to other relationships. So taking care of what you have, and somehow those additional doors continue to be open.
You are challenged with different ethical situations. You're challenged with different moral situations, and those things face you and face some of us almost every day. But something that how I exhibit my faith and demonstrate and just show my faith in my work or in my business from day to day is simply by just living it. It's not always easy, but it's something that I'm determined to do, and I declared a long time ago that my life isn't my own, and I'm committed to living that. Not just, and there are opportunities where I get a chance to proclaim and share, but the greatest story can come from my life.
My faith, it dictates my integrity and how I deal with clients. It dictates my priorities. I heard recently a lot of people say, there's God first, then it's my family, and then it's work. And I heard somebody kind of turn that on its ear the other day. They said, if God is truly the priority in your life, then he's going to be first in your family, and he's going to be first in your work, because they can't exist without him.
I guess I was going to say my faith directs my life. So every morning when I start my walk with God, I really pray that he'll make me available to whoever I come in contact with that day. And usually the way I do it is through my actions and how I live my life. I don't really talk about it that much, and people just get to know it. And then you can talk about it. But I don't talk about it first usually. I just live it, and people see that I'm different. There's something different about me. I'm an overachiever. My mother taught me always to be the best I can be, but she never believed that you should run around and witness to everybody.
I truly feel like the Holy Spirit welling up in each one of us radiates in some way, and that impacts every relationship. That impacts the way that we go about doing business. I think in my business, integrity is of utmost importance, and to be able to share with folks before we get into a reactive mode, always trying to be proactive and on the front end. I think that honesty and being able to have the hard conversations when sometimes we'd rather not have those conversations, the Lord gives us strength where we're weak,